Now oh, you little bastard. Yep. Yep. It's true. Hi. My name's Marge. I'm a Hale empath, and I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. I just freaking killed a mosquito right there, and I'm gonna leave him right there for this whole talk, because that is my shadow side. Yeah. Yeah, because he will bite me, and I will get a welt, because I'm allergic to their freaking toxin. Their parasitical, low vibrational, I'm gonna feed on you, that vibration. It's coming out in the main stage right now, and more people are picking it up, and it's kind of hard to contain myself. I'm so full of excitement today. So yeah, so I'm never one of those to say, oh, I wouldn't even harm a fly. Yeah, you know those people? The people that say that? I know a guy that said that when I was a kid, and he's in prison right now for murder. Why? Because he was void of spirit. He was all spun out on methamphetamines. Man, people do drugs, alcohol takes their spirit. I can't even tolerate bug bites. you know? But I was always taught, hold still, military bearing. So under the most extreme circumstances, I've just bared and endured it, even under the grossest controllers. And more people are figuring out that people are void of spirit, that there are legitimate, straight up. I mean, that's what they call a psychopath, is someone that doesn't have any, they can do it, that all the serial killers, all the people that you can't imagine someone doing something like that. Well, when you have an imagination, you can imagine all things. Some people limit their imagination and say, oh, I'm going to imagine this and I'm going to imagine this, but oh, I'm going to stop imagining right there. I'm not going to imagine anything past this. And anything related to that, it doesn't exist past this. But there's so much more full spectrum out there. And the people that live in that spectrum rely on the wall. The barriers, and those barriers are coming down because energy don't lie. And I'm here to teach some folks. There's a spider up there. I want one to walk across my camera. I want to see spider belly. There's aphids too. They look like little crabs, little red crabs. I would like to see one of those under a microscope. I bet they don't have a face. Dang it, Benny! I gotta go get Benny. I'll be back. Benny! Benny! Self-governing. Be self-governing. And don't eat poop. I should have prefaced with that. Should have led with that. Poop eaters. Anyway, I got some notes today. I spent this morning with Natty. I don't want to wreck her name. Natty, because when I say her name, I think about something else. Natty Denise. She's got a lot of good things to say. She's got lots of tubes. She's got like 5 tubes. and she's got the spirit part down, and she's got the investigative abilities, and she's talked about a lot of stuff I've talked about in my other videos too. I just kind of go a little bit more into the spirit side. Well, and I also have more of a background of investigative things, and I've been on the planet longer too. So there's this experiments comes with some reward. Anyway, so I want to remind people it's all about permissions, and anything you ever clicked on your whole entire life, there is an account and record of it someplace. And knowing that, because I take that with me in my integrity. I mean, and I think about that because I'm like, what is the worst thing I've ever looked up? What is the, and that's how people can, and I know this because I know people that have interviewed at businesses like Google. You can't build a house right there. He's trying to build a web now. Now the thing is cooperation is nature's way, but you can't inhabit things of which belong to somebody else already. is universal law, see? So, kindly don't make a house on my laptop. I'll give you more respect than the parasitical mosquito over here. Let him be a lesson to you, though, because I won't be taken advantage of. I'm no chump. Anyway, so yeah, and I used to set up permissions when I worked at these big companies. You know, you give them permission access, and then you had to be in a special group and be cool enough to be able to be on the team that gives you access to stuff. You know, they're all freaking. That's why IT don't work, is because they're all freaking sitting around and nothing works. It's all convoluted but it's not made to work. Think about technology. If it worked the way that like from a heart-based space. I confuse mom sometimes because she watches shows like Grey's Anatomy is a common, which we're watching Grey's today. She'd been watching Longmire for like 2 weeks straight, and it fit the vibe, but the energy shifted, so we're lightening up a little bit. So we're watching Grey's, and I always narrate the heart space of what I interpret is actually happening with the narrative on the show, you know. And that, like, they'll say something like, "Oh, we'll get a foundation to pay for it," you know. And I'm thinking, it's that club mentality. See, and then I'm like, why can't everybody just do what they want? You know, it's because the control freaks at top, the ones that are using astrology, they freaking created this whole, like, I picture Pigpen around the earth, this whole Pigpen of imposed ideology, these, you know, and piggybacking on what Natty says, you know, the 6 internet companies that, you know, run the show that say, no, we're going to let people see it because it's power of suggestion. It's marketing. It's all psychology, you know. And I'm like, and I made a note down here, what if cookies ate you? Because they all track your, have you ever noticed that? So the tracking cookie does. I was trying to explain that to someone I know earlier this week. She's been looking for car insurance. And I'm like, oh yeah, I look for car insurance. I'll do one estimate in one browser. I'd use a different operating system to do it. You know, I use entirely different systems to isolated systems because they keep track. And then every time okay, I'm going to look today. Well, I go back later. Oh, I should have got it yesterday. It's that much more. You know, and they do that with airline tickets. It's inflation. It's getting you to raise your vibration into a frequency of excitement to spin you up. And then what happens is people lose control when they get spun up because they don't know how to control their own emotions. And we can see it because obesity is way more of an epidemic than this scamdemic that I'm seeing. Obesity is way worse, man. Just put the spoon down, folks. Put it down. Go walk around the block. If your feelings are hurt, I'm sure that there's lots of your reasons are valid. I have valid reasons for hurt feelings, but you got to talk about that shit. You know, you can't keep it bottled up because then, you know, those hurt feelings turn into creepy, entitled perversions is what happens. You know, and you don't get to do kids ever. Anything. You just don't. And there's a whole lot of rich people that don't. What? Who, me? Couldn't be. Who, me? Couldn't be. Do you like my red shoes? I mean, it's arrogance, and they tout it, and they put it in your faces, and people like me have been collecting the data points of who these... Because I'm the one that I'm in IT, folks. I'm the one that goes to... And I look at the history. I know what people are looking at, and I collect the data of the demographics of these people and their VPs and their presidents more than the creepy, greasy guy, you know, that freaking wears the same polo shirt and Dockers every day, you know. I hate touching those guys' keyboards. they you know, they're porn, you know. They're just low vibing porn, but they, you know, they don't do stuff with, you know, they still have their own moral compass. I bet even if you looked in their search, it's probably like, you know, ain't nothing too creepy. You know, my porn, that's the thing. My porn history, there's like sensual lesbian experience, like the artful type, you know. I've gotten curious because I've seen lists on Facebook and stuff of like, I don't even. Now it's just a case. It's a case study to me. Now it's where I go to see the psychology of the people that are being controlled, the controllers and the controllee. And if you notice, a lot of these places that are in these videos that they're doing this, they're in the same shots that are in Instagram. You know, the places that everyone wants to go. Not the places that the poor people wish they could go, but the place that, you know, inclusive membership required. At what cost? At what cost? Pina Colada was just on. I wasn't even paying attention to this song. I was thinking earlier today, what happens when you boil water? This goes with my vibration thing. When you boil water, you know, it depends on how the temperature of the water from when it starts in, the ambient air temperature, it has all these temperatures, like how fast, but ultimately you put a pot of water on a stove, you induce heat or an energy source. It could be cold too, because shivering can do the same thing as being infuriated, livid, pissed. You know, it's just when you lose your ability to control yourself, right? And that's what all these programs want to do. That's what, you know, all the yeah, they're letting you burn down the towns. They're just gonna build up they're just gonna buy themselves tanks, you know. They don't care. You're already buying them SUVs. You burn down that SUVs, you know, that you're buying. They're just buying tanks, you know. They'll just make their freaking wiener swing extra. They'll just buy bigger toys. I picture those air dolls with these old guys, these old, and women too, because if women are not balanced in their masculine, they can act just as freaking creepy. Isn't that right? That gazelle, freaking dumb. She was broke too, you know. Broke people hurt people. It's a fact. So to piggyback on what Natty was talking about, she was talking about David Spade and his concern about Hanks and all this stuff, and you know, and I was just like, a spade's a spade, and I get a lot of data information about people just from their name, you know, just from favorite song, favorite food. It just tells me who people are, and then when they say, you know, and so I was looking up Spade. I went down this little ant hole, Spade. Did I close the window? I closed the confounded window. I just looked it up on Wikipedia, and it's a card game, okay? It's a card game. Now it's now it's a shovel. Now it's showing images for a shovel, but the last time I put in Spade, it came up with the card game in the window. Spade game. I came from a game playing family. I learned how to play cribbage and chess when I was like 3-4 years old, because I was just like a little android, and I picked up how to do it. And then my brother could practice, and then he could win over and over and over, and I would never win because I didn't care. I just wanted to play. And then all my family, they played card games and stuff like that. And then I had the storyline of the tarot cards in my mind, so I was like creating relationships in my hands. And then I didn't want to play, so I'd screw myself and like, why would you do that? You had a good hand. And I'd be like, oh, I don't, you know, it was the queen and the 7 of diamonds, you know, they had to be together. It's how the story's written. So I Spade the game. And when you look, and so when, you know, David Spade, and I think about, because he's winning one. Benny, no, underlay on my nose. Yeah, you trickster, clown. He was in one of my favorite movies ever, Joe Dirt. And actually, somebody asked her if there's one movie that you could watch forever, what would it? And it might be Joe Dirt for me. It could be. I might have to give it some thought, but Joe Dirt has all the elements. Christopher Walken, Brittany Daniels, Marx has a lot of exes. Anyway, so he comes from that heart space, but when people grow up or get older or on the planet longer, their energy field is around longer, they absorb more of what they're like, so they grow either more in ego or spirit. The clouds are freaking phenomenal today. I might have to go for a drive out someplace and go take some photos. Yep, shoot some snap knacks today, huh, Benzo? Got a couple yesterday. Anyway, so when I think about Spade, and it's just like, and it's like, okay, because you look at all the egos that have always been in Hollywood, and then you have the ones that, like, had trouble with alcohol, void of spirit, and then, like, realized it, and then came into their spirit from the shadow and stopped drinking, and had years of sobriety. Some people fall back off, and then live from ego, just like, oh, I don't care, don't you know who I am, blah, blah, blah. That's all ego stuff. So, but I don't know. I guess the verdict, because we're going to find out who the egos and the spirits are. We're going to find out who the bad guys and the good guys are. The next freaking few weeks, or people are just going to be like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I'm going to be like, I didn't see that coming. What if it's me? Nah. Mom affirms me often, tells me, no, you've always been of the good heart space. You just always shared it. No. I don't need the karma tied up to doing negative stuff, for spiteful stuff and retaliation and all that stuff. There's karma that comes with it. So all you kids that are breaking all this stuff and the stuff, giving them the ammunition, the ropes to hang yourselves, then you're freaking, that's karma to come with that. You don't get to break things and freaking drink blood, and you don't get to do kids, and there's stuff that people without moral compasses that don't have a freaking spirit, that just all ego, they don't know they don't get to do. And now we're here to tell some folks that you don't get to do that shit, because evidently you didn't get the memo, because you're living some rules and regulations. You got some permissions granted and access that the rest of the population don't care to have. You've given them to yourself. Yeah. The obsessor. See, and that's why I gotta be careful about liking any one thing too much, because I can like a mosquito, get locked in, focused, and just suck. Alright, Benny. I gotta let Benny back in. Come on, Benny. Go back in. Come on. Go get rid of it. You're a good boy, Tuck. You sit in the sun, boy. Love nuggets. I can get fixed on something and then just not let go. And then I just can that's why now, the older I get, I don't tie my any thought process to any kind of outcome. Like, oh yeah, that'd be nice. That's about it. That's about all I can, or I go a little farther than that. I can imagine a dream. But you start imagining and dreaming too much, and especially if it involves another person, that's karma too. You don't get to create a life for two people if one person don't want nothing to do with it. So I try and stay on my side of the street energetically. I really do. Sometimes I'm a human. I falter. But you like my shirt? This is my idea of inclusion. Straight people like rainbows too. It's embroidered. Yep. Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's fun. It's like a guitar. It feels like a guitar to me. Right now, Mumford & Sons is playing in my ear. I just like playing, man. I think everybody should just play and just screw around and make the freaking fun of it, People are just so into freaking making billions and millions, and money ain't even real, but the stuff that generates it, that's what's tangible, So I'd really try not to be the obsessor. I learned that lesson, and it shows like atypical that helped teach me lessons like that. And boundaries. I was raped when I was 10 months old, so boundaries are hard for me. What's my starting line from that? Of what? Don't do that, Marge. Because it's always, well, they got to. You know what I mean? And you have this whole storyline of people that don't have boundaries. They just get to go around and do what you want. And people like me going, that's really freaking, generally from the heart, like, that's fucked up. You don't get to do kids. And I know who they are, and they know I read their energy. They know who I am. Because they've tracked my history. They know I have freaking. I was in the Air Force. I have top secret clearances. I mean, I've been my data print is. I work for G4S, the third largest company, the biggest security company in the world. I mean, they know who I am. I'm allowed in these places for some reason, but I just don't get to benefit the same way they do because I'm not a fucking egotistical scumbag that cares about bells and whistles and accessories, gadgetries, extra microphones, camera. I do this on a freaking Mac. It's Mac I bought at freaking Nebraska Furniture Mart like 5-6 years ago. It took me freaking $100 a month. It took like, I don't know, a year to pay it off, you know. That's how I do things. I buy something big and then pay it off, you know. But so all I ever cared about is like making my brother even said, all you ever cared about is only making like $50,000 a year and you would be satisfied with that. And I'm like, why aren't you? Mr. freaking, he's one of the policymakers. He's one of the lawmakers in California. Oh yeah. He's one of those people that it's his ideas and his freaking people. I got all of the sensory stuff because he might have it, but he don't listen to it because all that shit is woo-woo hocus pocus bullshit. Yeah, but he's also balding and everybody else in my whole entire family has a freaking full head of hair, you know. And it's also his teeth. He had to have braces 2 times because he stresses himself so much. People manifest stress in their teeth. I'm surprised if I would have been an addict, you know. That's one of the reasons why I never like freaking like go fast, all that stuff, because it messes with your teeth. And I'm like, nah. I prefer to slow down. Sometimes it's nice to stop, but you know, we're still humans, so you gotta be careful of the obsessor. Anyone that, oh, that car that they just love. Why do you love a car? You know, I liked a car a lot. It was a Hyundai Sonata. I called it my poor man's Jag. It was sweet. It was like a 0203 model, and then after that they freaking concorded it and changed it. But it was cool, and it had a sunroof, and it was fun, and I loved that car. And then I got rear-ended by someone who didn't have any insurance. And then so I went in upside down, and it was just a bad deal. And it's just like, you know, I've always followed the rules, and I still get screwed over. So I understand why people go against the rules. But when you have the people that are making up the rules that don't follow the rules, that's when I got to start chiming in. So look out for anybody that's obsessing about, and all this stuff happened. Look around, folks. All this stuff that is happening, that is going on in the world, all they're doing is creating more office space and stuff for themselves to expand their ego. They're just creating more clubs, more nonprofits, so they can buy vehicles in the name of everything counts, and then put their logo, their ego, all over everywhere and go, look at what I did. I care so much. But the help never goes to the people because the cracks keep getting wider. I can attest to that. I have over 1,000 videos of my stories of how people in positions of authority have liked to make an example of me. Good old Marge. Because you're a good sport, right? And you'll just take it, right, Marge? I don't take it no more. So the obsessor is a slippery slope, you know. What was it? Someone posted, Aaron posted a comment earlier that says millionaires don't use, the guy from Forbes said it, millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. And I'm like, nah, I'm not egomaniacal like that. You know, they use it to their, and that's the thing, is money ain't even real, and it's an energy. So if you think about it, they're the ones with the ultimate poverty mentality. It's them, the people that have it and don't share it, you know, because people that have gone without, like me, I haven't had running water in 3 years. A lady I know at the freaking laundromat lets me come over to her house and freaking take a shower from time to time. Yeah, we don't have furniture, we don't have heat. Mom has a space heater, she gets the heat, she stays toasty warm. But you know, I'm getting kind of old and my back hurts, you know, for the highs in the house to be 50 degrees, but what that's done is it's given me a level of empathy that sees through other people's bullshit when they're like, I'm so empathetic, I just care about people. Oh yeah, I can have $1,000. No, that's how could you ask me for that? Well, don't you have like millions? Yeah, but did you earn it? Or did someone die and give it to you? Yeah, but did you even go visit them when they were sick? You know, I mean, it's all that stuff. It's getting dark. The lighting's changed. So, I don't know. I might have been yammering on too long. Let's see what's going on in the chat, the talkie room. I don't even know how long it's been going or nothing. German engineering. No, don't, dude, and don't ever apologize to me. Anybody apologize for typos? I don't want to. Nobody apologize to me for nothing, because ain't nothing I haven't done, and there's more important things to be sorry for. So just yeah. No, I know I'm a good kind of word. That's why I saw this earlier today. I was like, you know, there's clowns, you know, the good kind and the bad kind, you know. What kind of clown are you? I'm the one that adds light and love, and then there's the freaking it clowns, you know. Yeah, it's everybody's full spectrum, and they're drawn to what they're identified to. So if people are scared of shit, that's because they're thinking of scary shit all the time, and you don't want to hang out with people that are thinking about scary shit all the time, if you get my mean, because they get all twitchy and they start thinking everybody's after them, you know. And I know the algorithm. I know that if freaking, you know, I've sent a message to the an I am to the freaking what's her name, the freaking YouTube lady, because she's like, I was started selling something when I was 11. She's like, talks about how she's self-made, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember going around like bundling freaking manzanita with red ribbons and taking them to people's doors and selling that, you know. So I don't know. I don't think she knows what poverty is, but so yeah, I know there's a reason, divine. That's why it's like I know the possibility of why things are, you know, and how, and I've had people fuck with me in just the stupidest ways in real life. So I can't I'm too imaginative. I'm not going to spend my energy imagining, you know, if people are freaking setting algorithms to make sure it's all divine. Everything's divine. Time is divine. If people see my videos, then we're of close frequency. You know, and everything is, there's so much freaking earth or water and air energy right now that people don't really know. They're or from their head in the. It's just, everything's weird. Everything's weird. I caught myself almost putting my toothbrush in the refrigerator. I'm like, that's not where it goes. It goes in the dresser. You know, but it's just, you know, just watching just watching these is all that I need. That's all I need. That's all I need. You know, I'm making butter today. I'm gonna do cookies tomorrow. I think I'm gonna do the caramel and cookies and cream kind. Yeah, I have a hard time telling people about, or I have had a hard time telling people about things that I've done, you know, because, I mean, by freaking, I gotta take the heat dried on there, the mosquito I killed. That'll be a reminder to me then. Those reminders go both well. I've been eating garlic, so hopefully that helps. Keeps the vampires away. Ever see True Blood? There's a lot of tells in that. There's a lot of, because there's energy vampires. There's not just like real vampires. I mean, they're just there is but it's not just them. There's people that are energy vampires too. That's why they have sports teams in these significant cities, because they're pockets of energy. So you get excited, you get yay team, you drink and carry on and lose control. They're taking that energy and they're using it for stuff that we should be benefiting from, but they're they keep for themselves. You don't think that there's freaking... Someone's like, how come there aren't batteries, that stay charged? There are phones batteries that stay charged. We just don't get to use them. We're not in that club. There's all this gadgetry that exists. It's just not mainstream. They just use our stream to use the technology that they've collected, because it's Trump's uncle freaking took the freaking plans out of Tesla's apartment. Is the developer, look at all the developers, look at all the stuff. Who's developing? Real estate has always played a factor in this key. Who's getting the property? Who's getting the latitude and longitude? Look at all the Masonic temples across the United States. They're all on the 39th to 40th parallel. And I grew up in Redding, California, which is on the 40th parallel. And right now I'm stationed at the 45th, and it is awkward and it is uncomfortable, and I do not like it, and I'm ready to go. But I gotta wait for fall and be patient, and I don't like it, and I don't want to, but I gotta go. But I am blessed with nature. These are my blessings. I get to freaking look at these trees that I get to sit under every day. I just sit under here, and just the birds come and visit, and we hang out. And I'll be thinking about stuff, and I'll be like, I wonder if this is true. Bird goes squawk. Okay. But it also depends on the squawk too, because they read in frequency and vibration too. All animals do. That's how they know whether you got a spirit or not, or if your spirit's been broken. They can tell that too. That's what, yeah. That's why I don't trust people that are adamant about hating dogs. I can understand if you got bit by a dog and it's scary, but if you like wish ill and hate, then there's something more to it there. There's always more to the story, folks. You just got to unravel what it is. Let the universe guide you. Let it be your guide. Call it God. Call it source. Call it good, orderly direction. Call it whatever you want. Just call it something outside of yourself that you can believe in. A power that is greater than yourself. The roses are coming out. I'm going to walk along the French line before I in my talkie tube. I like these because orange is my favorite color. See, check out Luther Burbank. He created the thornless rose variety just by talking to it and telling the rose that he would protect it, and it doesn't need thorns because he would. I just thinned it out a lot. I can smell the dry. I thinned it out and hung all the dry flowers over there that I cut off, and I could smell the roses. It smells like potpourri rose petal, Anyway, I think I'm yabbering on long enough. I don't think I said everything in my notes, but Tucker's ready to go in, so that's